It all started in the year of 1963 when the Alcatraz penitentiary was shut down for good. Local Native Americans noticed this and tried to seize the land in 1964. 5 members of the Sao tribe sailed to the island and tried to reclaim it under a federal treaty that declared Native Americans may take over surplus government land, but in the end, their efforts were no good. Though, this did catch the attention of a young Native American named Richard Oakes, who was ambitious to make something out of this failed attempt to reclaim the rock. Flash forward to the year 1969 when the San Francisco American Indian Center caught fire and burnt down. A group of protesters led by college student Richard Oakes realized that Alcatraz had not been used for anything and looked to the island as a promising location to represent their culture. On November 9, 1969, they traveled to the island and stayed there for one night before being removed by authorities. Oakes famously remarks, "If a one-day occupation by white men on Indian land years ago established squatters' rights, then the one-day occupation of Alcatraz should establish Indian rights to the island." This act was a rallying cry for many Native Americans, as on the morning of November 20th that same month, a group of 89 men, women, and children from various tribes sailed to the island and claimed it. They ignored all warnings that this act was illegal and established living quarters as well as graffiti the island with phrases such as "Peace and Freedom," "Welcome," "Home of the Free Indian Land," "Red Power," and "Custer Had It Coming." After some time of occupation, many news reporters flooded the island and interviewed Oakes, who had been declared the leader.
What's this nation you want to establish out here?
An American Indian nation comprising of all the tribes, including the Alaskans.
Why Alcatraz?
Everybody can see it. On one end of the country, you have the Statue of Liberty, and it's just the opposite. You have a true reality of liberty.
The majority of the public supported the Indians in Alcatraz, and this was noticed by the Nixon administration. He realized that forcibly attempting to remove them off the island would leave a bad mark on his reputation, so he resorted to peaceful negotiations with Native Americans. Though the Indian activists were adamant that they would settle for nothing less than a deed to the island, which the Nixon administration could not provide. So, in turn, the negotiations bore little fruit and were no use. While political outrage was occurring over the island, the Native Americans living there were thriving and growing more in numbers. At one point, the population surged to over 600 people with more than enough supplies and entertainment. On the island, a government was formed, a clinic, a kitchen, public relations department, and also a school for the children. Additionally, there was a security force that patrolled the shoreline to ensure that no one unwanted came onto the island. Many people donated large amounts of money, clothes, food, boats, and water in support of the occupation. Though in the early 1970s, the mood around the island began to change, as many Native Americans had to go back to college, and many other people were moving to the island like hippies and freelance photographers. Oak even addresses this when he states, "They stay and eat up our stores, then leave. Then we have to clean up after them." Finally, in 1971, a group of FBI agents, federal marshals, and armed police invaded the island and removed the remaining 6 men, 5 women, and 4 children. After the occupation ended, it had lasted about 17 months, which is quite impressive for a protest of this caliber. There was no reward in the end for the Native Americans, or better phrase, they did not get exactly what they wanted. The city of San Francisco and the government did not go through with turning Alcatraz into a new center of education and history for the Native Indians, or give their land back to them. However, the protest did directly or indirectly cause the reward of about 48,000 acres of government land back to the Native Americans, which is a small one, but it still counts. The government did make Alcatraz into a national park 2 years later in 1973, which still teaches about this protest in great detail. And that is all for the history of Alcatraz. Thank you for watching.